Today's show is sponsored by the Pittsburgh Opera, presenting the world premiere of Woman with Eyes Closed. Here's what you need to know. There's this gal named Mona. She realizes her son is an art thief who has stashed stolen paintings in her house. So she's got a decision to make. Does she give them back to the museum? Does she keep them? Does she turn her son in? Or does she destroy the evidence? This is all based on a real-life art heist, and Woman with Eyes Closed will keep you guessing until the very end. There are 5 performances, April 26th through May 4th. Learn more at pittsburghopera.org/woman. Hi, Yins. It's Megan Harris, and if you love CityCast Pittsburgh, I've got a way for you to get even more out of it, and that's by becoming a CityCast Pittsburgh neighbor. Neighbor is the new name for the CityCast Pittsburgh membership program. So when you become a neighbor, you're not just supporting our work, which thank you, you're also unlocking benefits that make being part of this amazing city even more fun and rewarding. Like access to our exclusive member-only events. We're thinking insider tours, volunteer meetups, even happy hours with other neighbors who love Pittsburgh like you do. So every Monday, we're going to send you a curated list of the best things happening in town that week, so you will always be in the know. You'll also have access to ad-free listening, so episodes in a special feed, and we'll give you a thank you here on the pod. Even a chance to shout out your favorite local business or nonprofit. And if you join this week, we'll send you a fun new coffee mug proclaiming your status as a bona fide CityCast Pittsburgh neighbor. It is our way of saying thank you and making our morning chats feel even more neighborly. So head over to membership.citycast.fm today to become a CityCast Pittsburgh neighbor. That's membership.citycast.fm, and thanks. Today on CityCast Pittsburgh, if you are into weird Pittsburgh history, women's soccer, or local music, this may be the month for you. CityCast's Mallory Falk, Francesca DeBecco, and I are talking about our favorite ways to explore Pittsburgh this May, plus how you can hang out with us. It's Thursday, May 1st. I'm Megan Harris, and here's what Pittsburgh's talking about. Hey, we're doing the Guide to May.
Yay, love it. It's my birth month.
Happy early birthday, Francesca. I actually know of the perfect way to celebrate you this month.
Oh, I know where this is going.
Oh, tell me.
If you want to celebrate Francesca, if you love the work she does every day with the Hey Pittsburgh newsletter, you should consider becoming a CityCast Pittsburgh neighbor, joining our membership program.
I mean, honestly, nothing celebrates you more than getting new neighbors. I feel like that is actually a perfect gift for you.
Both like in real life and through the membership program. Yes, our CityCast Pittsburgh neighbors. We are, wrapping up our membership drive here soon, but we're really excited to grow our community and meet more of you guys.
Yeah, we're actually in the last 48 hours of our membership campaign. So if you've been listening and you think you might want to sign up, please do it soon. We've got a lot of fun perks for you, but a couple of those do expire in the next couple of days. So no distractions, no forgetting. Now is really the time to join.
Yeah, it is so easy. Just go to membership.citycast.fm, or if even that feels like too much to you, you can just click the link in our show notes, like scroll on down, become a member. I think today's episode is really like the perfect example of the kind of work that we do and the kind of shows that we put out, like trying to help you feel more connected to Pittsburgh. So we want to help you make sense of the city, and we also want to help point you toward all of the fun and exciting things that are happening here.
Yeah, and we want to keep doing this for years to come, which is only possible with your support. So if you want to keep getting these monthly guides to Pittsburgh and the podcast and in our Hey Pittsburgh newsletter, please become a CityCast Pittsburgh neighbor. It's $10 a month, and you'll get great perks like members-only happy hours where the first drink is on us.
Yeah, and invites are actually already out for our first one of the season. It's coming up really, really soon. We're excited to meet all of our new neighbors, all of our old neighbors. If you can join right now, today, you're also going to have a chance to win a pair of tickets to the Heinz History Center. So that's to see an exhibit that we are actually recommending during this episode. So this offer is only good this week. So now really is the time. Go to membership.citycast.fm or click that sign up link, that easy peasy link in our show notes.
Yes, if you want a chance at those tickets, you want the complimentary CityCast Pittsburgh mug, you gotta sign up before the week is over. But let's talk about that exhibit because we always start our monthly guides recommending something to experience in the city this month.
Yeah,
and if
something
you
to do.
are something to do, exactly. If you are a history buff, if you like bizarre Pittsburgh relics, then you have got to experience this new exhibit at the Heinz History Center. It's called Pittsburgh's Hidden History. Our team actually got to go on a tour of this on opening day. And no exaggeration, this is probably one of my favorite exhibits I've ever seen at the museum because I am a sucker for kitsch, I'm a sucker for Pittsburgh nostalgia, and this is full of those things.
Yeah, it's filled with gems. So basically, the Heinz History Center has tons of objects and artifacts in its collection, and they can only display a fraction of those at a time. So with this exhibit, they're just putting all of these really interesting objects on display that really tell a story of Pittsburgh's past in a unique way. And a majority of them haven't been out before. So it's a really fun, exclusive look.
Right. Things that the staff there really loves, but have just never really fit into any given exhibit at any time.
Yeah, I think one of my favorite things about this is just hearing them talk about the logistics of it. You have all these incredibly learned, passionate curators at that museum, and they all get to come with their top 10 weirdest things that have never been on display and make the case for why they deserve a spot in this new exhibit. They ended up landing on 300 objects, and I guess at least the vast majority are going to be brand new to basically all of us.
Yeah, definitely don't miss the opportunity to peek at items from iconic local institutions. We're talking the original hot dog shop, Permanis.
The Beehive sign.
Yeah,
R.I.P.
Kaufman's. Kennywood, one of Mallory's favorites was from Kennywood.
Yeah, if anyone is old enough like me to remember any ancient Kennywood fans out there, they have the Green Lady head from La Cachot, which was my favorite ride as a child. It closed down in the 90s. And it's in this scary Pittsburgh section of the exhibit that I love. So they have things that are legitimately scary, like clown heads, but then also a model of the Squirrel Hill Tunnel because, what's more terrifying than being stuck in that traffic? So the way these are all grouped together is also really clever and inventive.
You definitely get a sense of their sense of humor just based on the groupings alone.
Totally.
Yeah. And while we were there for the opening, I talked to Leslie Sibilic, who's the senior curator at Heinz, and just asked what she hopes people take away from this exhibit. And here's what she had to say.
Sometimes we think of museums and we think about the serious history, and it is serious history, but it also can be a huge amount of fun. Exploring the material culture of America's past can be fun. Exploring the pieces of our own neighborhoods can be both fun and, I don't even want to say educational, enlightening. You can think about, I never thought about it in that context. So I hope people come away, one, with a value of their own sense of history and connection and community, and then maybe they're just a little bit of curiosity that's sparked to do a little bit more digging about something.
I definitely need to do some more digging in this exhibit. I felt like I was pulled in every which direction. There's just interesting things in every corner. So definitely returning. You guys should too.
And while we're on the subject of exhibits, there's another exhibit and symposium that I really recommend people check out this month that's happening at the Kelly Strayhorn Theater. So they're having a symposium called Owning Our Future from May 15th to 18th. And connected to that is an art exhibit called Lifting Liberty.
Yeah, this is a really cool symposium. It's all about empowering BIPOC artists. They've got panel discussions, keynote addresses, and performances all planned. Some examples of things that are on the docket. You can kind of learn how to find Black Pittsburgh history by using an app called The Looking Glass. It's created by an artist named Adrian Jones. And it just sort of maps the people, places, and events of Pittsburgh's past and just helps you, learn a little bit about our Black history here. And then there's going to be a documentary screening of East of Liberty. That's made by the Pittsburgh-based filmmaker Chris Ivey. And it all kind of explores the issues of race and class and really addresses residents' fears around gentrification, which we know
specifically in East Liberty.
Yeah, which is a huge issue in East Liberty. So there's a ton of good stuff on the calendar for the Owning Our Future Symposium.
Yeah, and then as part of this symposium, they actually asked a local artist, Najami Njai, to create an art exhibit in the lobby of that space. And so she put together this exhibit called Lifting Liberty. It's this collection of art displays and maps that look at the legacy of Black cultural spaces in East Liberty. So some spaces that still exist, but many that do not anymore. And so kind of like represent some of these really incredible spaces that were in this neighborhood at one time.
Yeah, and I feel really lucky. We got the chance to talk to Njami about her work. She focuses on 3 distinct eras. So before, during, and after this concept we talk about a lot on this show, urban renewal. So it depicts these different cultural sites like Liberty Gardens. It was a Black ballroom in East Liberty. So it's just interesting to hear how she went about learning about it and trying to represent these spaces, especially as a younger person, because, they don't exist anymore. And just like how much time you end up spending in an archive, but like that just doesn't capture everything.
When you look in the archives, I think a lot of times some spaces are documented, but all of the spaces in which like culture has been created aren't necessarily going to make their way to the written record, right? So, I think about Mary Lou Williams. She was dubbed the piano girl of East Liberty, or like the little piano girl of East Liberty. And from what I understand, she's playing at like rent parties and, probably the equivalent of like back pool rooms. And so those aren't necessarily documented, at least that I could find. And so I went with spaces that I found in like the Pittsburgh Courier archives, or that I saw in the Teenie Harris archives. And so my goal became how to kind of render those and how to reimagine those spaces in a way that they could all be in conversation with each other. So trying to create some sort of aesthetic and organization for the exhibit in which all of these places could feel like, they were on the same page in a way, while acknowledging that they are from very different times in the neighborhood's history.
I actually went to the opening of her exhibit and I was really moved by the visuals. I'm a big fan of like collage art, and I think it's so fascinating how she layered the archive images with more contemporary pieces, and it just really shared a story of what East Liberty has experienced over time. And I love what she said whenever she presented her work. She said, "You cannot tell the story of Black America without going through Black Pittsburgh." And I think that's so true. And East Liberty is such a great example of that. And so I would really recommend anyone going having a chance to go look at her art.
And again, that symposium is May 15th through 18th, but this exhibit is on display through the end of the month. So definitely make it a point to go check it out.
Yeah, I also was struck just that she said like it's a good place to bring like older folks in your life too, because so often those conversations with our elders, when you see photos and stuff like this and representations, like it can be a really cool way to like pull stories out of folks that maybe you wouldn't have otherwise talked about that, and it becomes like a really special memory. So that's awesome. Another thing to mark your calendar for this month, the Pittsburgh Riveters are kicking off their very first season. So this is the new pre-professional soccer team that's going to be playing in the same stadium, Highmark Stadium, that the men's Riverhounds team does over there on the south side. Have y'all ever been to a soccer game around here?
I have not. And actually, I've also never heard this term pre-professional soccer before. What does that mean?
It was also an education for me. I'm a casual soccer person. Like I'll watch it from time to time and when we're like in big national or international tournaments, but I have not followed it super well locally. I've been to Riverhounds games, but I gotta say, like my knowledge of how soccer works, like really was stopped at around age 15 or 16 when I like stopped being very competitive at it, you know?
Listen, I get that like the official term and everything, but they're all pros to me. And whenever we go and cheer them on, yeah, they're going to be great. I'm really excited that they're getting their due. And, there's going to be a lot of fun promotional events throughout the season. And I believe on opening day, they're going to do a giveaway for the first 500 fans. You'll get like this like fancy glass centerpiece. So if you're a big soccer fan, that might be fun to have.
Yeah, just a little bit of background. They're part of this USLW league, which I guess isn't technically part of U.S. soccer yet, but it's really big. I had no idea it was this huge. So the league has 93 teams. They are broken into 4 conferences. Francesca, I thought of you when I read this. Our conference apparently has 4 divisions. So we are in the Central Conference of the Great Forest Division.
What does that mean?
Yeah. I mean, they got to call them something, right?
So everyone in this division like has a beautiful forest in their backyard?
I mean, I would argue that we are all kind of along the mountain range, right? So it includes Cleveland, Buffalo, Erie, Rochester, and actually there is another pre-professional team already here in Pittsburgh, the Steel City FC.
What is FC?
Football club.
Okay. Yeah. Right.
But anyway, fun fact, our Rosie the Riveter logo, that's like, they chose their name, like they put it up for a big public contest. People got to pick, the Riveters won. And so we have this Rosie the Riveter logo. It won a design award recently because there were a bunch of new expansion teams and they I guess judged all the new logos. Ours does look real good. Like if you look at all of them right next to each other, it's pretty fancy.
I love the logo.
I think it's so fun. If you look at that promotional schedule though, that you were talking about, Francesca, I think it's really funny actually, like the giveaways and the themes. Like one of them is half price Surfside, those canned cocktails. It's like ladies' night at or something like that.
Oh no.
But another one is celebrating science and technology. So it really there's a large range here.
Really runs the gamut.
I was gonna say it feels like they're leaning into some stereotypes I don't love with that with at least that canned cocktail giveaway, but
you know what? I actually respect it. I think Pittsburghers do appreciate a booze special. So, whatever it takes to bring the fans in.
The other thing that I love about this is that the Rosie the Riveter mascot, the original poster was designed by a Pittsburgher, J. Howard Miller. He created that based on workers at Westinghouse Electric back during World War II. So just a fun little local tie there.
Definitely. And then we've got one more experience for the month of May.
Yes. So from May 1st to the 23rd is Remake Learning Days. It's this giant festival throughout Western Pennsylvania with over 200 hands-on learning events. They're at local libraries, schools, parks, museums, all sorts of places. And nearly all of them are free. So it focuses on a lot of kids learning activities through art, science, technology, outdoor learning, different maker projects. A couple of the ones that I saw that were interesting were a terrarium workshop, a Lego building challenge, and a customizable clothing class with engravers, screen printers, and embroidery machines. And it's made for kids with all abilities. So I love that. It's inclusive and fun. We have an article on our website from our friends at Pittsburgh with all of the details.
And again, that's May 1st through 23rd, the Remake Learning Days Festival, which is international now. So congrats to them. This episode is supported by Liberty Magic and its upcoming show, Malin Nilsson in Magic Unplugged. Magic is part of Malin's blood. She is a third-generation magician who's showcasing her skills as part of a laugh-out-loud and very theatrical performance. You'll experience handmade magic tricks, surrealism, and comedy, topped with raw onions and a pinch of confetti. If you want to see how raw onions fit into magic, well, you're just going to have to come catch the show for yourself. Malin Nilsson in Magic Unplugged is running now through May 4th at Liberty Magic, Pittsburgh's premier speakeasy that is all about the sleight of hand and elevating the art of magic. And if you're really adventurous, you should snag Skeleton VIP tickets. It gets you front row access and an exclusive meet and greet after the show. Get your tickets at trustarts.org/magic before they disappear. Today's show is supported by the Union Project and one of the city's coolest events all year long, the 2025 Mother of All Pottery Sales. It's all going down Saturday, May 10th from 10 to 4 in Highland Park. And you're going to see so many different kinds of pieces and styles. The artistry is just incredible. I've been looking at the vendors and I have got my eye on these plates that incorporate stamped lace, which sounds like it might be dainty, except they also have bats and skulls on them. There are planters shaped like animals, mugs with all kinds of different fun, funky shapes, and some of them this beautiful bright glazing. There are jewelry and trinkets, sleek, earthy vases, and I am really digging these big, bright cereal bowls that sort of remind me of the smokier parts of the Appalachian Mountains. There really is something for everyone. More than 40 different ceramic artists will be there doing demonstrations, and you can even play with some clay yourself and sculpt a piece for the Union Project's temporary gallery. The Mother of All Pottery Sales is free to enter, but if you want extra shopping time and a smaller crowd, get yourself an early bird slot for just $20. That'll buy you an extra hour before the masses arrive at 11. Early bird shopping is truly one of my favorite forms of self-care. I cannot recommend it enough. Get your ticket and check out the full list of artists at unionproject.org.
Okay, so we are about to move on to food and drink recommendations. If you want to drink your drink out of an exclusive CityCast Pittsburgh mug, these are limited edition.
Although be careful, because it means that everybody who sees it's going to know that you're the person that gets to pick the restaurant the next time you're going out with your friends. Like, it really does put like an important like mantle on you. Just be ready. Yes. Be ready.
Yes, because you're the one who is clued in to all of the restaurant openings around town by virtue of listening to the show, reading this newsletter. But again, that's membership.citycast.fm. Get your mug and help ensure that this show continues for a very long time.
And do it now.
Yes. But on to the kinds of exciting things you could be drinking from your mug. I think if you're into fermented drinks, we've got some recs for you.
Yeah. So as you guys know, May is whenever farmers markets kick off. If you haven't listened already, we put out a whole etiquette guide to Pittsburgh's farmers markets. And
that was really in service of me, like not knowing how farmers markets worked when I first moved to Pittsburgh. And like I got to ask all my nebulous questions about like how not to make a fool of myself.
No, I love it. Everyone can benefit from that. We got to support our farmers. And so whenever you're going and getting your farmers market haul, you might have some extra things that you want to make use of, whether that's cucumbers or some, other vegetables and fruits. So there are some interesting fermentation workshops happening this month that I thought would be fun to dig into. So first up is on May 8th, there's the benefits of fermentation with Prescription Foods in Point Breeze. That's at the East End Food Co-op. And they're going to teach you about all sorts of fermented foods like sauerkraut, kimchi, miso, yogurt. And they're going to give you samples of all of them too. Mm-hmm. And then on May 23rd, there is a Ferment the Forest event with Hollow Oak Land Trust out in Coriopolis. And they will teach you how to make fermented sodas using wildflowers and pine needles, which sounds so interesting. Oh, Megan's giving me a yuck face. Oh, no.
Oh, no, don't out me. I wasn't going to do that. I hope that it's delicious, but pine needles does give me pause. I'm also not a gin drinker, so maybe like this is for somebody, just maybe not me.
Megan, you just gave me a great idea that this sounds like it would be the perfect way to make a non-alcoholic gin and tonic. So I'm very curious.
And actually, I'm looking at the page now. It looks like they've got a specialty cocktail. This event is 21 plus. So actually, best of both worlds, perhaps.
Yeah. And I understand that fermented drinks still have like a mild alcohol content, but very, very minuscule.
Yeah. So let's wrap it up. on May 29th, there is a Pickling Spring with Fermentation workshop with Community Cultures.
Ooh, friend of the pod.
Yes, we love them. We had the opportunity to do a fermented pop workshop, and we had a blast. So this one is happening at Chantel's Cheese Shop in Bloomfield. You can learn how to ferment your summer veggies. You also get cheese samples to eat with other fermented samples, and you can take home a jar of veggies to pickle at home. So just like a really good learning experience to get you ready for the summer farmers market produce growing season.
Yeah, and a reminder, there are also just a ton of food festivals and food-focused events this month, too. So Pierogi Fest, a vegan restaurant week, food festivals for Ukrainian food, for Greek food. There's a strawberry pretzel jello salad face-off. If you want to learn more about any of these, we've got a whole article on our website where you can find all the details and the dates. So that's pittsburgh.citycast.fm.
And then this isn't like specifically a food event, but it involves a lot of fun free treats. So this is Bike to Work
We love
Day.
fun free treats.
Yes. I mean, who doesn't love fun free treats?
So biking and yummy goodies.
Yeah, exactly. Like my two loves. So this is on May 15th. There's going to be spots throughout the city that are offering treats to people who are commuting to work by bike. If you work from home or do hybrid work, I don't know, maybe like take a little spin and commute back to your house so you can participate.
Why not? No one's checking.
Yeah.
I mean, the fun thing about Bike to Work Day also is that like you don't necessarily have to be a regular commuter. Like part of the joy of it is to like encourage people to try it, you know, and see if they like it or do like a leg of your commute. There's a bunch of different ways to do it. I've done this over the years in like a variety of different ways.
And it's so fun because they have stations throughout the city. There's one in Oakland, one in downtown. And then in the evening on the way home, they're doing one in the Strip District. So Mallory, what kind of goodies are you expecting to get?
Yeah, so if you hit up the spots in the morning, you can get free coffee. And then there's also going to be treats at a couple of these spots from Brooklyn Bagel and East End Food Co-op. And then in the evening, if you head to Kaya in the Strip District, you can get a free draft beer or NA beverage. And then there will also be happy hour specials. And, you know, all of this is being organized by Bike Pittsburgh, which is a really great local advocacy group that's trying to make the city safer for bikers and pedestrians. And so during Bike to Work Day and all through May, if you become a member of Bike Pittsburgh, you can get a free snack bag that attaches to your bike. These are super cute.
Is it like a bicycle, like fanny pack? That's what I picture.
It's basically a fanny pack for your bike. Exactly. And they're so cute. There's one that looks like an Oreo. There's one that looks like a watermelon. I especially have my eye on the one that looks like a Pop-Tart. So, you know, first things first, become a CityCast Pittsburgh member. Get your free mug from us. And then, you know, consider throwing some support to Bike Pittsburgh as well. They're doing great work and organizing this really fun event along with some other local partners. And as an added bonus, May 15th is not only Bike to Work Day, but is also our members only happy hour.
Oh, yes.
So if you become a member, become a CityCast Pittsburgh neighbor, you can, you know, head to Kaya, pregame a little bit, get your free beer, and then head over to hang out with us. Win, win, win.
I love it. Really spreading the love today.
Today's show is brought to you by Aura Home. This Mother's Day, they say you can officially win the title of Best Gift Giver Ever, while also sharing what's going on in your world in a way that'll stick with your loved ones for years to come. And the secret is their Aura frame, named the best digital photo frame by Wirecutter. No exaggeration, all the mothers in my life have one of these things, and it's shockingly captivating. Like I'll walk into the family room for something, catch a glimpse of a perfect day out with my family, a cute picture of my little cousins, and one of my all-time favorites is this old video of the family dog pogoing behind the door for treats waiting for us to come inside. Every time this happens, I laugh because I did not mean to spend 15 minutes staring at this thing, but I did, and everyone in all of our households does this all the time. Aura has a great deal for Mother's Day. For a limited time, our listeners can save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com to get $35 off plus free shipping on their best-selling Carver matte frame. That's Aura, A-U-R-A, frames.com. Promo code CityCast. Please support the show by mentioning us at checkout and get yourself a discount. Terms and conditions apply.
This episode is brought to you by Temptations Cat Treats. Your cat will come running for the perfectly irresistible Temptations Creamy Puree and Temptations Lickable Spoon Cat Treats. The best time to feed lickable cat treats to your cat is anytime. Feed by hand for a playful moment, in a bowl for a creamy treat, or as a topper to make mealtime fun. Visit temptationstreats.com to learn more.
Okay, so last up, some fun events to mark your May calendar for. Where are Yins going to be this month? What are you looking at right now?
So kind of the big, holiday in May is Mother's Day, which is a great opportunity to celebrate either your own mother or a mother or other like parental figure in your life. And there are a bunch of Mother's Day related events happening in Pittsburgh. The first batch are the first weekend in May, so a little bit early. There is going to be a mom's night out at King Fly Spirits in the Strip District. So you can, enjoy some drinks, build your own charcuterie board. There's going to be hand massages and chair massages. I have to say, I don't generally tend to gravitate toward mom-oriented events, but a hand massage does sound very appealing.
Having working on the computer all day, I agree.
I can't decide if I like it or I hate it, but I think I like it.
I think you like it.
I think it depends on the level of intense eye contact that's happening.
Hopefully my eyes are down. My eyes are pointed down.
But the thing that's kind of nice about this event, too, is that all the vendors there are women-owned businesses. So,
heck yeah.
That's
Very
great.
Cool.
And then that same weekend, there's going to be a Mother's Day art market at Cove Art Center in Avalon. It's hosted by the Novelty Collective. And so they're going to have things like baked goods, floral arrangements, art by local artists. So you can, go get something for yourself or go get a gift for the mother or mother figure in your life. And then they're also going to have art workshops throughout the day for the public, and donations are encouraged for those. But if you are a mom, you can join for free, which is a very nice touch.
Oh,
I also like that
they're
they're kind of emphasizing how caretakers often have to put their creativity or their efforts in those spaces kind of on a shelf to take care and to show up for other people. So this is a moment to step back and be part of that and make yourself the focus, at least for a little while.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Well, if you want to do some more shopping from local artists and vendors, there are a ton of fun markets in May that you and a mother figure can enjoy. There's plant and flower sales at Phipps May Market. The Neighborhood Flea is coming back this month in Southside Works. Then there's the Pittsburgh Book Crawl. That's 9 days of indie bookstore shopping. So you can keep up with all of these festivities in the Hey Pittsburgh newsletter and find more details on our website, pittsburgh.citycast.fm.
And then a few more the actual weekend of Mother's Day. So there's a Mother's Day at the Market House over in Lawrenceville. It's from 12 to 6. And if you get there early, you might be able to snag free parking in their lot. So that's always a bonus. But they're doing $2 donuts. There's going to be a flower bar. They'll have wine. They're doing tattoos.
And if you listen to our episode about the best donuts in Pittsburgh, we had high praise for the donuts at the market. They're Oliver's Donuts, but they were the priciest ones that we picked up. So $2 donuts here. This is a great deal.
Yeah, they're always coming up with inventive flavors. Definitely hit it up.
And then one more, there's the Mother's Day candle making event over at Hop Farm Brewing in Lawrenceville. That's Sunday, May 11th. It starts at noon. It's hosted by Mixed Candle Company over there on Butler Street. So you can either make an 8-ounce candle or you can choose to do a reed diffuser. You can also head to one of their stores before Mother's Day to pick up a gift or make a candle. I think they also have a location now in Southside Works. I've done this before. It is a lot of fun. It is definitely one of those things where you have to lock in on a theme for yourself. Otherwise, you're going to pick so many competing scents that it does not make sense. Luckily, they help you with that. They'll look at you and be like, I don't think these 4 things go together. Do you want to edit a little bit? And that's useful to you in the moment.
Also, I love it. They have a jar of coffee beans to help you cleanse your palate or
your nasal palate.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because it is overwhelming.
So much of it smells so good. And you really need help zeroing in on what lane you're going to pick for this.
A lot of competing smells at once gives me headaches. I couldn't really get on the Bath and Body Works trend as a tween because walking into that store was an instant migraine. So I like that there's this coffee bean solution.
Yeah, there's a palate cleanser for sure.
And just finishing up some Mother's Day events, I'm actually trying to take my mom to this Pittsburgh Symphony event. It's called Clouds in My Coffee. So the symphony is doing music of like trailblazing women. We got Joni Mitchell, Carole King, and Carly Simon. So iconic. Like I grew up, in the back of my mom's car listening to all this music. So it should be a lot of fun.
And pro tip, the Pittsburgh Symphony Orchestra is doing a lot of concerts recently that are like honoring the music of some of these like pop figures. I'm going to a Dolly Parton tribute show later this summer. So I would definitely take a look at their calendar if you haven't already, because there is a lot of stuff that's not just kind of the typical music we think of when we think of a symphony.
And if you want to stay a little bit more contemporary, if you like live music, for example, there is a music festival happening May 16th and 17th, the Millvale Music Festival. So this whole thing is like, it's such a hodgepodge in the best way. So they have like 300 musical acts that take over 30 stages within this very small amount of space. It's like, I think in total, just over like a half square mile. So it really does like take over that whole main drag of Millvale there. And acts are going on and off, and they have all kinds of visual artists and spoken word performers and comedians, tons of food. Of course, there's Grist House and other restaurants along there. I have been before. My only note is that parking is absolutely impossible. So if you can park somewhere else, maybe take your bike in, Uber, take the bus. It is on a line. Make sure you bring your bike lock, though, just because, like, I mean, I trust everybody, but also, like, there's a lot of humanity, and, like, it could be easy to get a bike confused, if you don't have your stuff locked up.
These are great tips, Megan. I feel like this is an iconic Pittsburgh experience. So I hope some of you out here listening get to enjoy all the grooves, all the tunes over in Millvale this month. So May is actually also Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander Heritage Month. So there's some cool celebrations happening. One at the Carnegie Museum of Art and Natural History on May 18th. They're going to have crafts, calligraphy, performances, storytelling, and a screening of the documentary, The Last Mayor of Chinatown. I love this. It's, the story of our historic Chinatown in downtown. So like more than 100 years ago, Pittsburgh had a thriving Chinatown neighborhood, and it was destroyed by what we now call the Boulevard of the Allies. So the only building that remains is the Chinatown Inn, which is great food. You should go get it.
And then just one more. Francesca and I were also lucky enough to get a preview of this as well. We've talked about it a little bit before, but the Braddock Library, that big old beauty over there in the main drag, it's finally reopening. They're having a huge grand opening party on May 22nd. There's going to be events, and performances, all kinds of things all day long. A few of us are planning to go, and we're going to go and celebrate Francesca and party it up in the library in Carnegie's OG space.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yes, and one more reminder, the event this May is our members-only happy hour that's happening on May 15th. If you are already a neighbor, you should already have that invite in your inbox. We are so excited to hang out with you. Thank you for your support. And if you haven't signed up yet, now is the time. Go to membership.citycast.fm to support the show, keep us going for years to come, and secure your invite to our happy hour.
That's all for today here on CityCast Pittsburgh. And it is time to shout out the new CityCast Pittsburgh neighbors. Mitch F. says he joined because he's been listening to CityCast almost every morning all this last year. Mitch, thank you. Elizabeth S. has been binging us since she discovered the show last year. And Heather B. says she was, quote, freaking delighted to find us, that she loves learning about local news, history, events, and more. And also just how well informed she gets to be among her circle now about very niche things. That is maybe the highest compliment anyone could pay us. If you want to be like Mitch and Elizabeth and Heather, please sign up today to be our newest neighbor. That's at membership.citycast.fm. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. We'll talk to you then.
And, speaking of that transition, let's get into it, because we always... Is that so hopeless?
Speaking of that transition?
What do you mean? Oh my God.